Possibly the most classic and famous race in Formula 1 history, and one of the most famous motor racing tracks all across the world. We are here live at the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium for one of the many famous races here in the GT3 PlayStation 4 division, Round 7 of this championship. A track that has ultimate character. It has the undulating chicane that is Eau Rouge. It has the double apex, beautiful downhill corner of Pouon. It has the bus stop chicane. It has La Source. It has almost everything you could want, and it's a track which is medium to low downforce, so it's a question of which way do you go. Do you take the more traditional straight line, maximum speed, all-out attack that you'd see favoured at the likes of Monza, or do you try to take advantage of the slightly higher downforce midfield sections that are a little more reminiscent to the likes of Monaco and the likes of the Sector 3, the Circuit de Catalunya in Barcelona, Spain? Good evening to all. This is live and exclusive on Twitch.tv, Excite Racing League for action here. I'm Pete Markov, bringing you live, uninterrupted coverage of this race. So let's go to the track where we can watch the qualifying action, courtesy of these guys on board on the outlap at the moment for Skanky Puppy, riding in the Aston Martin V12 Vantage. He'll be looking to try and get revenge for last week's race at Mount Panorama in Bathurst, Australia, where he just wasn't able to get the legs on Ace Killer, who took an excellent victory there after a controversial bit of stewarding where the great driver himself in the Aston Martin V12 driving in the things that was Diogo Pinto, last week's Ford Falcon winner at Mount Panorama, Australia, actually got disqualified for failing to take the pits. Again, one of the rules that's mandatory here is you have to stop. You have to take advantage of the pit garage. So they'll be definitely making sure that they all follow that rule here. Ooh, bit of off-track action there for Skanky Puppy. Just for Blanchimont, drifting very, very wide indeed. Paulie Dog, by the looks of it, behind him in the BMW, looking to size him up there and possibly take advantage later in this qualifying section. Going through the, I call it the faux bus stop because I still remember it as the double chicane. It's now gone, of course. No longer what you see. And now Skanky Puppy once again going through the bus stop. Now this is interesting. What's going on here? Heading up towards La Source, hairpin, gets a decent line there. Skanky Puppy getting a decent line on the outside, kissing the outside apex, getting a little bit of traction down. A few drivers out there who are watching this live and exclusive on Twitch.tv. I'm Pete Markov for Excite Racing League. The chat box is open, so please get your comments in. We'll do what we can to get through them. If you're watching this on the YouTube replay, please hit a like and subscribe and check out our channel for many more races and many different divisions, both here on the PlayStation 4 and on the Xbox. Heading down the Camel straight down towards the Lake Coon complex. Maximum attack for Skanky Puppy. Can he get a decent line to here? Usually you can throw the car straight in, but with these GT cars with much tighter turning circles, it's not so easy. Gets a decent line in the second part of the La Source now, but doesn't use all the circuit. Gets a compromised line heading down towards Ravage. This downhill hairpin can be very tricky, very unsighted. Also a potential overtaking spot if you're late and brave on the brakes here. So far so good. Good evening to Flipper Racing, who's just checked in on the channel box. You can do that all here. Going through the corner with no name, often sometimes referred to as Ravage, even though it's not the actual name for it. Down towards Pouon. Skanky Puppy, this long circuit here, average lap times around about the 2:15, 2:16 period. So it's going to be interesting as he's got the pace coming off Pouon, heading down towards Fagnes. Went a bit too wide there, got a bit slippery on the brakes, and his car fishtailed a little out from him there. Skanky Puppy not feeling the confidence as he rides the outside of Fagnes down towards Stavelot, start Sector 3. Again, missing the inside apex a little bit there, but correcting on the outside, almost like a karting line through Kirby Porphyre, heading down towards Blanchimont. Ooh, L4 tyres outside the line there. Not sure if that gauges you any time at that corner, though, because you do take a very, very wide angle, far away from the optimum line. Heading down towards Blanchimont, we've seen the likes of Max Verstappen do some great overtaking here in Formula 1. Oh, very, very wide drift there. Really struggles to keep the power down. I think Paulie Dog had the same problem. These guys used to be able to tear arse it on the F1 cars. Very different kettle of fish here in the Aston Martin V12 Vantage. We're heading towards the start-finish line for the first banker lap here. And once again, I've lost the actual image, courtesy of the camera work. Strangely enough, no lap time. Heading out towards La Source to check out, oh yeah, we do use the sports car setup here rather than the Formula 1. So the start-finish line is after La Source, which is unusual. It's a 2:16 from him. Meanwhile, Fraser Pants, it was Fraser Pants actually behind, 2:16.7, so 4/10 off at the moment. In third place, meanwhile, Hammy Mansell in the RUF does a 2:19.5. Dan RC 2010 just coming over the final part now. Driving with the Thrustmaster livery BMW Z4 this week. A change of pace from last week's Aussie V8 Monsters. Going through La Source, getting a decent line on the outside. But got a bit too wide there. Didn't quite get the power down. Heading past the pit lane garage. Down towards the start-finish line. Down RC 2010 at 2:17.2. Good enough for fourth place for that. Meanwhile, the Legacy at 2:20. Very slow from him. Weister 3, meanwhile, riding in the RUF. He's back in familiar territory after that venture last week in the V8 Australian muscle cars. Going past the start, the pit garage for the F1 paddock, down towards the GP2, into the Source hairpin, gets a decent line, doesn't really go too wide there, uses the outside curve as much as possible, really attacking, heading towards the start-finish line. Can he get a decent lap time out of this car? It's a, no time, interesting. I wonder if he's either just started an outlap, or if potentially he's got a penalty. Meanwhile, Paulie Dog has gone straight out now on his outlap, so 94001 heading through Farnier down towards Stabilo. He's the next on the list in the RUF. Great driving from him. Needs to try and get himself back on track. Oh, but that's not going to help. Gone wide onto the AstroTurf into Kirby Paul Ferreira there, and that's compromised his line, but he has got a potential toe heading down towards Blanchimont. So a great opportunity for 94001 to take advantage here in the RUF. Nice line through Blanchimont. Went a little wide there, but not too far off to gain an advantage. Into the bus stop chicane, so far so good. As he follows what might be Skarky Puppy round, takes a very wide line in the second part of that corner there. Really wanted to go very, very wide to the outside. Meanwhile, Flipper Racing saying on the stream that it's great to see Hammy back in the race. Indeed it is. He thought his pace was going to be a bit too slow, so really be of any use to the drivers. But so far he's not doing too bad. He's not set the slowest time at the moment. So let's see when 94001 meanwhile can clock in the RUF. Heading for the start-finish line. No time from him either, so he must have just been on an outlap and then found himself in that position. So Paulie Dog still nowhere near a lap time though. Weister 3 currently done a 2:8. He's actually looking like a decent time here in the RUF. So let's round the board as he comes out of Kirby Paul Ferreira, heading down through sector 3 towards the next start-finish line and breaking the beams through Blanchimont. Oh, that's wide. That's very wide indeed. He's gone out for all over the AstroTurf there. Do that in the race too many times. You might find yourself getting a penalty for track extending and carrying too much speed there, which gains you an advantage. Heading out through the Fuster chicane, again going wide. Drifted over the curve to the AstroTurf, almost into the tyre wall. That's not going to make him go any quicker at all. Brendan Hartley did that in the last season's World Endurance Championship at the Bus-Stop chicane. Ended up getting a penalty for not turning back to the track. Kind of thing you can find yourself getting in trouble with the stewards with, but there's a decent line out of the Source. Is he going to set a lap time here? Weister 3 in the RUF? 2:17.6. Good enough so far for 6th place. Meanwhile, we've got Fraser Pants in 5th place. Davidson, Football 676 number 1 done a 2:17. Decent lap time from him. Hammy Mansell, meanwhile, don't know if he's actually on a fast lap at the moment. Right on board in the RUF, gone very, very wide, almost drifting into Fanier, taking a very, very wide line indeed there. That's going to compromise him heading down towards Stavilo. Down through Stavilo itself, going to the outside, using the maximum rumble strip as much as he can. 1:01.7, but he's gone back to the pits. Don't think he was happy with his lap time there at all. Meanwhile, the Legacy, let's round on board with him in the McLaren MP4-12C. Couple of seconds off the pace of Hammy Mansell at the moment. He'll want to improve that if he's going to have any chance of getting himself vaulted up the board. About 6/10 off through sector 2 though. Not looking like the fastest time as he goes from Kirby Paul Ferreira in that beautifully white, almost actually calls it a Belgian flag on the bonnet there, trying to get the home court advantage from the partisan crowd. Into Blanchimont in the McLaren MP4-12C, fishtailing left and right a little bit there, struggling for grip, pushing as a maximum attack as he can. 3 times outside the line, probably just pushing the rules to its maximum. Heading into the bus stop chicane, gets a decent run on the inside, just about avoids the sausage curb, and does it again at the second part. That's beautifully taken. The Legacy doing a great start so far. Is he going to find any extra time as he just left over the start-finish line for the Formula 1 towards the sports car section at La Source? Riding on the inside, just avoiding the wall there. Didn't use all the track on the outside, possibly compromise himself. Maybe lost 3 or 4 miles per hour there, which might affect his lap time down towards the start-finish line. Indeed, it's no improvement. He's done a 2:20.6, so he's still struggling to find his way. Meanwhile, Paulie Dog is out there, but he's not looking very fast at the moment. He's actually showing a time currently as possibly slower than the Legacies. Paulie Dog will be disappointed by that in the BMW M3. Engine very quiet, almost like an Audi Le Mans prototype car, and he's gone very, very wide at Blanchimont there. Paulie Dog really not enjoying that at all. Heading into the bus stop chicane. Decent line so far, no real problems as he gets into the second part of the curve. Not sure if it's going to gain him any time though. Right to the outside curve, bit too much there. Going by the pit garage. Once again, having to change the direction on the camera. Not very nice at all. Heading into La Source hairpin. Breaks a little late, tries to go on a more rain karting line there, and actually does a decent job. Avoids getting sucked to the outside too far. Is he going to get himself a decent lap time banker to get him on the board here? A 2:19, and we're disappointed with that. Really not close at all. Meanwhile, 94001, not on a lap time at the moment. Hammy Mansell, 1117, potentially got a chance here to get himself a little extra time. Riding in the RUF. Let's get on board. Heading out towards La Source. Already nearly at the end of this qualifying section. Just really got to show how this long circuit is not really catering for these drivers. They're having to work very hard here. Heading towards the start finish line. Hammy Mansell in the RUF, 2:18.0 was his best. Has he improved? No, he has not. He did a 2:18.6. So the driver's struggling to find that extra pace at the moment. Meanwhile, Football 67611 looks on decent form in the RUF, so let's ride on board with him at the moment. Getting a decent line through Blanchimont, heading down towards the second part of the bus stop chicane. Gets a good run out of that section, trying to get as much as possible down the start finish straight. I do apologise, this camera is not keeping up with me at the moment. Heading through down towards La Source hairpin. Got a nice little shot of my garage again there. The camera director definitely not liking this. Heading into La Source, got a little bit of a toe possibly here. Football 67611 from the back. I think that might have been a Legacy. Heading for the start finish line, clipping the inside wall there almost, but no improvement from him. Moving further forward, meanwhile, Fraser Pant is in the garage, as is Wise the 3. But Ace Killer, he's out on a lap at the moment. Let's ride on board with him. A 1:07. This looks pretty promising. And the top 3 are all coming very closely indeed. 4 drivers are within 1/10 of one another. That is so close. Ace Killer, we want to try and gain a little extra time now to get him back in front up to call Skunky Puppy, who's got a big lead at the moment on pace. He's a bit too far in front for these guys, but it's all about what happens in the race. Lap time, no improvement. A 2:16.8 of him, and he's actually spun it going into Eau Rouge, so he won't be happy about that at all. Meanwhile, Dan RC 2010 trying to get as close as possible. He's also in the BMW Z4, the Thrustmaster livery, heading down towards La Source hairpin, getting on the brakes nice and early, getting a raining wide line. A little bit unsighted there through the middle part of the corner. Really found that difficult. Heading for the start-finish line. What's his lap time going to be? Improvement of 2:16.2 plus a provisional second place. But meanwhile, where's Diogo Pinto at the moment? In the garage. He's not going to get out. So, meanwhile, Skunky Puppy is out for another lap once again. Just going through Ravage down towards Pouon. Lap time is not actually on a lap at the moment. So the first one is on a lap is all the way down here. Wise the 3 is in the garage. Football 67611 not on a lap time, and he's not going to have time to get around pit balls. I get the feel we might be stuck here. It looks like the Legacy. He's not on a lap time either, so people aren't out there. But looking at Jamie F430 at the moment, in the Aston Martin V12 Vantage, he's right in the back of the field with the stolen front bonnet, and he's not yet set a lap time, but his pace looks pretty strong. Not going to be right near the front, but it could be easily get him in around Weister 3 and Football 67611. So let's see if he goes through Blanchimont. Do apologise for the gas there, heading towards bus stop chicane. Getting a clip on the inside apex absolutely beautifully. Getting onto the outside camera. Following in the chase cam. Jamie F430 winding outside the white line all along the curb there. That's going to slow him down as he heads down past the pit garage. Heading towards La Source hairpin, the final corner on this lap. Getting a decent line from the inside there, absolutely beautifully, riding the outside as much as he can. 2 tyres on that curve for maximum grip. All out attack from JBF 430. He's got 5 seconds to avoid being timed out. The 2:17.7, about where I expected it to be, right in the middle, and that is literally as close as it could get. So, well, the Legacy will be disappointed to be a couple of seconds off Paulie Dog at the foot of the field, but Paulie Dog is the real disappointment. He finds himself right down at the foot of the field, 9.400 right at the bottom of the points. Harry Mansell in 9th place, he'll be happy with that. He felt his possession and pace was not strong enough to be in the league. Well, he's proven his doubters wrong today, including himself. So let's find out who's going to be out there to give us a bit of warm-up coverage. Diogo Pinto in the Aston Martin V12 Vantage is going to be going round, so might as well ride on board. Last week, and Laguna Seca, he actually took the checkered flag, but did not take the pits, did not go in, and ended up actually failing to set a time. More importantly, he was disqualified. Looks like the Legacy is now the first one on camera after Diogo Pinto pulled over at the side there. Ace Coverdale going very, very wide over the top of Radion. Very similar to the performance of Kevin Magnussen at the F1 race here, where his actually headrest fell out of the vehicle. Terrifying thing to watch, actually. And I hope that he's actually feeling a lot better after that race at Monza, where he had to race with pretty much bruised ribs. Oh, big drift there from the Legacy, and he's actually gone into a spin and has lost there, Lee Coombe. Oh, that's just kind of sums up his race so far. He's got a long time to pull that back. Ace Coverdale, meanwhile, we're on board with him going through Ravage, heading down towards Piron. These drivers all doing final recon, just trying to get a little bit of pace out of the guys, see where the maximum line is, see if they can get themselves back in the game. Ace 15 drifting outside the white lines at Piron there, really struggled to keep that going. That's going to have compromised him quite badly, so he knows that there's no grip out there. Meanwhile, behind him, look at Paulie Dog, made the same mistake, so these drivers evidently struggling to keep the car on the island at the moment. Now, there's no rain that's happened here this weekend from what I can see, so these drivers have really got to find the pace from somewhere. Question is, who's going to have it over a race distance? Because that's the key thing. It's all well and good being the fastest guy in qualifying, but if you can't deliver it in the race, you're out of options. Paulie Dog exploring the grip at Kirby Paul Ferreira, kicking the outside curb as much as he can, trying to see where these tyres will go, trying to avoid getting the tyres in the wrong place. Heading into Blanchimont, you can see once again attacking that, but he's used the inside curb, the outside curb there as a barometer of where he can push the car, threading the needle into the bus stop chicane. Very wide entry there from Paulie Dog. That's compromised his second line. So again, I think he's looking at these explorative lines just to see if you find yourself in the slipstream. You might fancy a cheeky move if you get the right line. But again, it's all about getting that right line. It's all about getting the power out of the car and getting yourself up the front of the grid. So Paulie Dog's going to break the beams, no lap time recorded, and I get the feeling he's not going to get around in time for one either, so it's definitely one of those moments where he's going to fight. No, this recon is going to give him a bit of a perspective. For those of you out there watching live on the world on Twitch.tv, this is Excite Racing League's PlayStation 4 even GT3 League here at Spa-Francorchamps. I'm Peter Marcroft, bringing you uninterrupted coverage. For those of you out there at the moment who are watching live on Twitch.tv, the chat box is open. Follow the example of Flipper Racing. Get your comments in. If you are watching this using the YouTube replay, please drop a like and subscribe. And check out our videos for much more racing, courtesy here of Excite Racing Leagues. The Legacy goes off once again at Lee Coombe. He's really not liking that, and Harry Mansell now in the RUF might be seeing this as a potential opportunity to get himself back into the points here, because again, he doubted his pace, he doubted his performance, but he's very much back. After this practice session, we will be racing for 1 hour live and exclusive on twitch.tv. So get your comments in here and we'll do all we can to go through them. And Spa-Francorchamps, one of those tracks where the drivers really have to work hard. Ooh, Harry Mansell, like he almost went into the side of Diogo Pinto off at Pouon there and has now dropped it at Farnier. Now, is this lag, or has he managed to just drop it in the strangest way I've ever seen? I'm really not sure. But Diogo Pinto, he's pulled off at the Pouon. Evidently, he's not in the mood to carry on back to the pits here, so I'll get the feeling that might possibly be the end. We've got Skanky Puppy going down the Camel Straight. May as well follow on board here, heading towards Lakeholm. And Skanky Puppy will want to ride that wave of momentum that he got on Mount Panorama Bathurst last week in the Aussie V8 Supercars race. Of course, he's been the boss pretty much of the GT, but he is now not been able to set a time. So we've got no idea of the race pace that these guys have. We saw in qualifying it was 2:16s, 2:15s, as high as 2:19s. In the race, when you're fat with fuel and you've got to keep your tyres going, who knows? So we're going to be racing, going straight down towards the Eau Rouge section. There is no dive for La Source here at this magnificent circuit. The drivers will be giving themselves a rolling start. After that, we will be racing, and it's a case of trying to follow the drivers through. So let's get onto the outside camera. So up in first place, we've got Skanky Puppy in the Aston Martin V12 Vantage, Dan RC 2010 in the BMW Z4, magnificent second place. Then we've got Diogo Pinto in the Aston Martin V12 Vantage in third. So Ace Killer 15 in fourth place. Then we've got Fraser Pants in the BMW M3 doing one of the Davidson races, trying to do what he can here. Sixth place, we've got Wiseman 3 in the RUF. Then we've got Football 67601 also in the RUF. Jamie F430 in 8th place, we'll be happy with that in the Aston Martin V12 Vantage. Harry Mansell meanwhile in the RUF in 9th. 4001 returning after a bit of an absence. He's also in the black RUF car. Then we've got the Legacy in the white McLaren MP4-12C, and rounding off the positions there, Paulie Dog in the BMW M3. So 12 drivers will be taking the start. After that, we will be racing. It's an hour long. We've got 59 minutes. The clock has started. And Diogo Pinto, interestingly, is falling away from Dan RC 2010 and Skanky Puppy. Now, he can't afford to get too far away from these guys, because if he does, he's going to find himself getting gapped and hampered early in the race. H-Kill 15, meanwhile, will be furious for slamming the steering wheel, asking for him to speed up so that the guys can catch up the leaders, because the last thing they want to do is hand an advantage to Skanky Puppy and Dan RC 2010. And of course, Skanky Puppy pretty much the pace car at the moment. He's the guy who's going to be controlling this, letting them all know who's the boss at the moment. Going through Farnier, final chance here before we go flat out 5 lights racing. Going through Farnier down towards Stavolo. Again, drivers weaving left and right, trying to get maximum temperature in the tyres. After that, it's all about the action of the start. Through Kirby Palferay now, drivers weaving, picking up a bit of rubber on the outside, gets us a little extra grip. And Diogo Pinto has now closed the gap, so it's very much as you were at the top of the order. H-Kill 15, he's one to watch out for. We saw what he did at Imola earlier this season. He's an incredibly fast racer on his day. Watch out for him. And Diogo Pinto, we saw both at Mount Panorama and Laguna Seca, he has the raw pace. He has to stay inside the officialdom on the rules, though. I'm sure he'll have a nice little take to his dash that says, make sure you pit. Then we've got Dan RC 2010. He's a bit of a dark horse. We saw his pace that he performed earlier in qualifying, so do not count him out when it comes to bringing you great racing here. But these drivers now will all be heading for the final time. Then Skanky will be now backing up the field as much as possible, trying to ensure that he is the guy who's got the advantage. Ace Cole 15 right on board with him at the moment as we head down towards La Source hairpin. Diogo Pinto wants to try and get a best lap as possible, heading through La Source hairpin, because once we go over those start-finish line, we will be racing. And you can see that behind him, Ace Cole 15's got a great toe, but it's lights out, and away we go. Skanky Puppy has got a great start. Diogo Pinto deep in the toe, Dan RC 2010. Well, watch out for Ace Cole as he goes into the start of Eau Rouge. Over the top of Radio down to the camel straight towards Lake Coo. And a bit of inside curve there from, oh, big mistake. Diogo Diogo Pinto on the bit. RC's round. RC's into the wall. No contact made. He's made a big catastrophic error. And look at this from Fraser. Fraser on the outside of the BMW. And you've got Ace Kill 15 trying to go around the outside of the RUF at Lakewood Complex. Diogo Pinto tries to force him wide, but Ace Kill's going to hang on. They just about defends the position there. Diogo Pinto, a little bit of door rubbing, touring car rash, but he's gone away with that. Meanwhile, behind him now, Fraser Pants looking deep in the slipstream in that BMW M3. Heading down towards Ravage behind Ace Killer 15. Ace Killer will be furious that both drivers tried to split him like splitting the atom, but were just not able to get by into the corner with no name. And Fraser Pants tight on the gearbox of Ace Killer 15. He's gone very wide there, lost a bit of traction. And Fraser might fancy a chance into poo on to be a brave overtake. He realises there's only one line through here and he decides to filter back into fourth for now. Moving back through the field, football 676 to Wars. Got Jamie F430 behind him. 9400 at 7th place. Paulie Dogs already up to 8th. Great performance from him. The Legacy in 9th, and then Don RC 2010 down to 10th place after that spin. Wise the 3 in 11th place. Then Javi Mansell, not sure what happened to him, but he's back at the foot of the field. But let's move further forward as we go into Stavolo. And you can see that Fraser Pants trying to get deep into the slipstream of Ace Call 15, and already Skunky Puppy getting a little bit of a gap on Diogo Pinto. Very, very wide there for Fraser Pants. Went totally off at curb Paul Ferrari, and that's going to compromise him heading down towards Blanchimont. Getting on board with Ace Call 15 as he gets into the slipstream of Diogo Pinto. He did not need Dio to get past him. The last thing he needed was to get done by Diogo Pinto. Look how wide. Oh, big mistake there. Ace Call 15 losing it. Hits the wall on the outside, and that allows Fraser Pants to go through. And meanwhile, behind them, now football 676 to 1 getting closer. Fraser Pants and the BMW M3 trying to get into the slipstream of Diogo Pinto. Heading down this old start-finish line for the Formula 1 races. Heading towards the source hairpin. A bit of a gap forming up ahead between Skunky Puppy and Diogo Pinto and Fraser Pants. But then behind them, Ace Call 15 has come back into this despite that blow with the wall. He's not willing to give it up. And football 676 to 1 loses traction a little bit in the source there. Meanwhile, behind them, look at this. Jamie F430 has got Paulie Dog all over him. Right in the slipstream, heading out towards All Rouge. Great opportunity now for the BMW M3 driver. He's got a spate of podiums so far this season, but he's really off the pace here at Spa-Francorchamps, and he needs to show that sometimes it's all about being patient and controlled rather than flat out racing. Into the slipstream behind Jamie F430 in the Aston Martin V12 Advantage, but he's just not quick enough. Meanwhile, moving further ahead, Ace Call 15 not being able to close the gap on Fraser Pants as we head through Lakewood Complex down towards Ravage. 55 minutes remaining of this race here, live and exclusive on Twitch.tv, courtesy of Backside Racing League. I'm Peter Marker, I'm bringing you live and uninterrupted coverage for those of you watching on Twitch. If you're watching the replay using the YouTube app, make sure you drop a like and subscribe, and of course check out those plenty of other races from other disciplines, including Formula 1 and the Xbox Project Car side. Ravage getting a decent line. Jamie F430 goes so far off he's into the grass there behind Night 4001, who's punching well above his weight at the moment, starting 10th all the way up to 7th already, and he showed in the last season that we had that he's got a lot of underlying pace in that RUF. So Night 4001 not one to ride off, he's going to find the goes a bit wide there, and that allows Jamie F430 to ride the inside curve, but he's actually unbalanced the car a little bit, and that's bringing Paulie Dog along for the ride. Heading into Stavolo, great opportunity now for Jamie F430 to get a decent tow up past Blanchimont and maybe take a look up the inside of the bus stop chicane if he can get decent traction off Curb and Paul Ferrari, but he's gone too wide once again, invited by that runoff, and it sucked him into the AstroTurf, and that has lost him a few Ks on the straight there. Meanwhile, behind him, Paulie Dog just sitting back out of range, not really getting involved just yet. He's watching those tyres. Behind them, meanwhile, what was that? Opportunity now as Weissman 3 tries to go around the outside of Blanchimont. He's made a hash of that. He's gone totally outside the circuit, and the Legacy goes back past him into the bus stop chicane. Now, meanwhile, behind them, we saw that was Javi Mansell trying to follow through. He had the same problem. All drivers struggling to cope with that amazing speed that you go into Blanchimont. On board with Paulie Dog is into the source, and you can see that Jamie F430 is trying to attack the back of Night 4001, just lacking the ultimate straight line pace. Moving further up the field, you see Ace Call 15 has now fallen slightly behind, but look at this. Fraser Pants is all over the diffuser of Diogo Pinto, so battle has been joined between the BMW and the Aston Martin. It's the Germans versus the Brits, down the Camel Straight, heading into Lakewood Complex. Fishtail left and right there, trying to find grip. Fraser Pants just not close enough to attack. Goes through the inside of the middle part of that twisty, fast-flowing chicanes complex down towards Ravage, gets deeper in the slipstream. Is he going to fancy a cheeky hook on the inside? We saw David Coulthard do this many years ago. Fraser Pants is just a bit too far behind at the moment, but he's keeping Diogo Pinto very much honest. We saw last week on Mount Panorama that Diogo Pinto is not willing to be intimidated by battling. We saw what he had with Paulie Dog. We saw what he had with that massive long race in the middle with Wise for 3. But so far, Fraser Pants trying to attack, going through Pouon, trying to get a decent line towards Fanier. A real opportunity now for Diogo Pinto to pull away if he can get the traction. Well, Fraser Pants in the BMW really sticking with him, that power and the grunt of that V8 engine really pulling him along, heading into Stavelot. Fraser Pants gets a decent line on the outside, takes a look up the inside of Stavelot, clips the inside curve, 2 wheels off the air. But despite that, look how close he is as we head out of curve in Paul Ferret. Once again goes wide, once again using too much of the road, and that's compromising him. Traction falling away on the screen. Flipper Racing game, go Fraser, go. Well, you've got plenty of support here as he gets a decent line heading into Blanchimont. Grass being kicked over head meanwhile by a bit of a Skanky Puppy in the lead. These drivers are very, very close together now. Fraser Pants getting a decent line down towards the bus stop chicane. But again, Diogo Pinto very much stoic and resistant, saying you shall not pass. Fraser Pants may be getting frustrated here. He can't afford to be too affected. Into the slipstream, riding on board with Fraser Pants down towards the La Source hairpin. Gets a decent look, but he's a bit too far behind to fancy slinging his arm up there. Who wants to get decent traction off this and try to out-muscle him into Eau Rouge, just like Mark Webber did on Fernando Alonso. But again, he's just lacking the traction, I think. That little impetus gunge that's pushing him up. However, going up Eau Rouge into Radion and gets deep in the slipstream of Diogo Pinto, who goes wide. Mistake for Dio. This is his chance. Look how close he is to the back of that. Nose to tail, very much literally. Diogo Pinto sticking to the inside. Fraser Pants goes, okay. Oh, very late switch back there. I don't know what that was about. Fraser Pants managing to stop the car and avoiding a collision. Not quite sure if he thought he was on the wrong line or if he realised he just wasn't around the room, but that was a very brave switchback from Fraser Pants there. He very nearly rear-ended Diogo Pinto. A bit of a brown trousers moment, but he's just been able to hang on. Oh, big trip, rear end snips out, really. He's lost it. He's made a mistake going over the inside of Ravage, and that's going to allow Ace Killer 15 to close up. Indeed, Ace Killer goes by. A mistake from Fraser. Go Fraser there, and that's allowed Ace Killer to get himself back on the provisional podium for now. Diogo Pinto will be happy about that because now it's a battle of the Astons. Skanky Puppy in first, Diogo Pinto is second. Moving back through the field, Fraser Pants trying to get back on the back of Ace Killer 15. Football 67601 following him through very distant in the future. Meanwhile, Jamie F430 has now got past Paulie Dog, is in 7th place. I think Night4001 has found himself down the order here, and Paulie Dog getting a decent line out of Pouon there, leading him on. So 94001 heading into Fanier, trying to take a wider line to get the cutback exit towards Stavelot. Battle of the RUF versus the BMW M3 here. So far, 94001 will be happy with 8th place. Started 10th after all, but he'll want to try and get a few more points and a few more places. Out of Stavelot, into Kirby Paul Ferret, into the 3rd sector, down towards Blanchimont. You can see that he's not going to the wide outside line. He's not going too far there, and that's allowing 94001 to catch up to the back of Paulie Dog, who is drifting wide. On the stream, Flipper Racing saying, down goes Fraser. Well, for now, he's made a mistake. However, Global 67601, you can see that Fraser Pants is actually closing up to the back of Ace Killer 15. So we'll ride on board with this battle for the final podium position. Fraser Pants trying to do everything he can in that BMW M3 to get himself back into this. Great performance thus far from Fraser. He qualified in 5th place and has found himself battling for the podium. Heading into Eau Rouge, up towards Radion, getting a decent pull on the slipstream there from Ace Killer 15 in the RUF. And the V8 engine of that BMW M3 will give him a lot of grunt. Just look at how much power he had over the top of Radion there. Gets into the Camel straight, deep into the slipstream, down towards the Lakewood complex. And Fraser is absolutely munching into that gap. But he just doesn't feel strong enough on the brakes to sling one upside. And he actually made a bit of a mistake there. Got on the brakes a bit too late. Nearly went into the back of Ace Killer 15, so drifted wide naturally just to give himself that chance. So Fraser Pants going off Ravage, and again he's gone wide there. He's struggling with that corner, and that's allowing Ace Killer 15 to break away. Up ahead, meanwhile, Diogo Pinto not really been able to eat into that gap ahead of him. He's a couple of tenths slower on the last lap than Skanky. He holds one of the fastest laps. Fraser Pant's actually the fastest man on track in terms of fastest laps, but he's made too many errors really to find himself in genuine contention. Moving further back through the field, let's get a bit more coverage here. And you can see, look at this. Paulie Dog, 94001 and Wise the 3. And look at this, Paulie Dog's gone wide and poo on. And 94001 fancy his chances here, trying to get an outside run towards Fanier. They're going to go side by side through this. This could be a monumental overtake. 94001 hanging on as Wise the 3 tries to follow him. Paulie Dog goes wide and Wise the 3 can only look on as 94001 tries to take the wide line to Stabilo. And what a pass that was to go on the outside line, but now Paulie Dog takes the advantage of a mistake. And Wise the 3 dies on the inside of Kirby Paul Ferrari, but then Paulie Dog goes off on the outside, so Wise the 3 now back in front. There you go, Paulie Dog side by side with these guys down towards Blanchimont. Behind them, 94001 and Hammy Mansell. We got a 4-car scrap at the foot of the field here, going through Blanchimont, and you can see all 4 drivers. Look at that from home. That was so wide. That was wider than a Scott Dawson over. That was unbelievable. Oh, collision! 94001 has just rear-ended Paulie Dog. He slowed down to ensure he gains no advantage. Paulie Dog did very, very well to stop that without going into the tyre wall up ahead there. Moving further back from Hammy Mansell now. Just a bit too far away from Paulie Dog. But 94001 looks on as the BMW M3 starts to try and pull away from him. Brown trousers moment there for 94001 and Paulie Dog. 94001 sizing up the back of Paulie Dog's BMW into Eau Rouge. He'll fancy his chances up the top of Radio down the Camel Straight towards Lake Hume. He's shown great power and performance, and Hammy Mansell once again going very, very wide outside the track there. I'm not sure if it's gaining him any advantage, but it's not the point. He's still going outside the limits of the circuit, and behind him, behind 94001, Hammy Mansell fancies an opportunity here, heading into Lake Hume, but once again, just a bit too far away. These 3 drivers are really sticking close to each other, really battling as Paulie Dog makes a mistake halfway through Lake Hume, and that closes these all back up together again. Why? Look at this, Hammy Mansell fancying a look on the inside. 94001 covered him up to go to the wider line. Now Hammy Mansell might try to use the undercut here to go underneath him into the second part of Ravage. Indeed, he takes a look. Not really room for 2 cars through there, but 94001's been a bit messy here, and you can see that Hammy Mansell now fancies an opportunity to attack, trying to go side by side into Puan. Oh, a bit of contact there. Hammy Mansell just getting his braking distance a bit wrong, hits the back of 94001. So again, a bit of case of realising what it's like to be punted from behind there. 94001 managing to keep the car on the aisle, heading into Fanier. These guys are putting on an absolute, oh, big mistake, fishtail moment from 94001 there. Hammy Mansell could only look on it, just held just enough grip to keep behind, but he was very close to going into the back of him into Stabilo. And again, 94001 favouring that wider line. Oh, he spun, very nearly collected. Hammy Mansell, great evasive driving from Hammy there, and managed to go around the outside while 94001 into the gravel. That could have so easily ended with him being T-boned there. Great performance. Meanwhile, Fraser Pants off camera has managed to get himself back ahead of Ace Killer 15 because we were too busy following the battle at the front of the points. Heading into the source hairpin, you can see that Diogo Pinto now is not too far away. Fraser Pants, despite the mistakes that he's made, is still very much in the hunt here. And Skanky Puppy has not broken away too far on these guys. So anyone can still win this race. Heading down the pit straight up through Eau Rouge, down towards the Camel Straight. Fraser Pants looking to attack the back of Diogo Pinto. Meanwhile, you can see up ahead about 4 or 5 seconds clear is Skanky Puppy. So the field's spreading out a little bit now, but there is still time for that to all change. We see so many mistakes here. Drivers really struggling to get the power down on this circuit. And that's a bit of a surprise when you consider that it is very much a medium to low downforce circuit where you can really attack and really get your power out. It's one of the circuits where normally you're encouraged to take the wings off, let the cars run wide. But these guys are finding it very difficult so far tonight. Moving back through the field, then Edge Cole 15 Brewers on his own, same with Football 676 to 1, Jamie F430. A few seconds clear of Weisner 3 though, who took great advantage of those mistakes. Paulie Dog on his own in 8th place. Hammy Mansell drifting through that final corner, trying to catch up to the back of Paulie Dog. Nightfall 0-0 back where he started in 10th place. He'll be disappointed to have made the errors he has. Oh, meanwhile, look at this. Dan RC 2010 down in 10th place here. Looking at the back of the legacy. It's a battle that's not even for the points. He started in 2nd place, Dan RC 2010. You could almost forget he was in the race after that mistake on the opening lap. But he's now getting a decent line of poo on, heading on towards Fania. He's going to try and sneak up the inside here and go and try and wall of death it around. He's going to try. The legacy season there covers him off and says, no, you don't. Heading on towards Stavolo, though. This might be an opportunity for Dan RC 2010 to out-drag the McLaren MP4. He tries to down on the inside of Stavolo. Mightily brave move, but there was no room through there. Gets a decent kiss on the outside apex down towards the inside of Kirby Paul Ferrari. Gets a bit too wide there, goes over the inside curve, but just about keeps it on the aisle, gets into the slipstream, and now a great opportunity behind the Legacy, who's really not kind of speed here. He's trying to go side by side into Blanchimont. Blood ahead of it, the Legacy sees him coming, covers him off. Well, Dan RC trying to take us a better line, and he might fancy sneaking this up the inside into the bus stop chicane, gets on the brakes nice and late, way too late. Way too late, and he's gone straight into the outside. Interestingly, 94001 did the same thing, so Dan RC 2010, despite that catastrophic mistake, has actually gained the position, and now you've got the Legacy in 10th place and in the points. 94001 falls further down the order. Paulie Dog going off the top of Radion in the BMW, falling away from Weisner 3, who's starting to slowly catch up to the back of Jamie F430. Up ahead, Football 676 was still very much on his own. Ace Kill 15 in touching distance of Fraser Pants, but not too close. And again, you've also got the same for Diogo Pinto. The field is now spread out. Give you a quick rundown of the fastest laps then. You've got a 2:17.3 from Skanky Puppy. He set on his last lap. A 2:17.182 from Diogo Pinto. Only 0.08 of a second quicker was Fraser Pants. Then a 2:17.9 from Ace Colour, a 2:18.4 from Football 676 Then we've got Jamie F430 or 2:19.0. Weisner 3 a 2:17.9, showing he's got the pace, he's just out of position. A 2:19.6 from Paulie Dog. He'll be very disappointed with this race. Happy Monster 2:18.6 will be encouraged by that. 2:17.4 from Dan RC 2010. Once again, has all the pace in the world, but it's totally out of position. Night 4001 at 2:19.4, and the Legacy at 2:20.8. So it's not all about your lap time here, it's your consecutive cumulative lap time, it's your race pace, it's your strategy, it's your ability to keep it clean, and that is what defines a championship driver. And you can see a Fraser Pants slowly catching up now to the back of Diogo Pinto, hammer very much down. Behind them, meanwhile, Ace Kill 15 trying to attack as much as possible. Unbelievable, its first 20 minutes have already flown by. These drivers have really kept it on the arm and really kept it going here. Going on to the outside camera, and you can see that Ace Kill 15 a good 3 or 4 seconds adrift of Fraser Pants. It's the same for Diogo Pinto. So these guys are all stuck in that kind of bungee rope effect where everyone's so close together. However, Fraser's made a bit of a mistake there, and that might allow Ace Kill 15 to get a little closer as he goes off the inside of the source through the tyre smoke. Behind him, we have Football 676 to warm very much on his own. Jamie F430 going through the source has got Weisner 3 very much close to the back of him now. Let's remain on board here for this battle because these guys look pretty close on circuit. And you can see that Jamie F430 has got a gap of maybe about 1.5 seconds. But that kind of gap has gone down very, very quickly when these drivers have really been able to attack here. Going off the top of Eau Rouge and Radion, gets deep into the slipstream. Great opportunity now for Weisner 3. Trying to use that overspeed, that extra power down towards the Lakewood complex. Gets a decent run. Just a bit too far adrift to make a look at this positional period. However, he might fancy his chances after the bus stop chicane. Going through Lake Hume, gets a decent line there, really using the inside curves as much as possible. Jamie F430 lacking the confidence to do that. And Weisner 3 dipping his toes to the outside AstroTurf for the extra grip. Heading into Rivage, gets a decent line. Great performance so far. Unbelievably tight line there, almost F1-esque. Heading into the second part of Rivage, and Jamie F430 will now see Weisner all over him. He's made a mistake in that corner. Weisner the 3 pulls alongside him. They're heading into Puon, but Wise the 3 should have this. And indeed he does. Wise the 3 goes ahead. Great opportunity to driving there. Jamie F430 now, though, might fancy his chances getting deep in the slipstream to attack the RUF, going in towards Fanier and Stavolo. And you can see that Jamie F430 a lot more twitchy, a lot more out of control, just not as clever at keeping the car in position there. Gets a decent pace off the chicane, but up ahead you can see now that Wise the 3, unleashed from Jamie, will start to turn the whip up and really have an attack here. Off Kirby Porphyray, Jamie F430 falling away very slowly. Football 6-7-6-1 going for Stavolo on his own. Ace goal 15. Fraser Pants has fallen away from the back of Diogo Pinto, who has also fallen away from the back of Skanky Puppy. Moving further back, you've got Hammy Mansell in 8th place, and behind him, Paulie Dog in the BMW M3, who's trying to attack as much as possible, trying to get himself back into contention after a poor race so far. Goes a bit too wide there at Blanchimont, though, and that compromises him. Heading into the bus stop chicane, gets on the brakes nice and early, and you can see there the big mistake made by Hammy Mansell when they took too deep. So Paulie Dog will fancy his chances now, gets into the slipstream, using the overspeed to his advantage as much as he can, going past the Formula 1 paddock down towards the La Source hairpin. Tight on the brakes, Paulie Dog looking up to the inside, trying to get into the slipstream of Hammy Mansell, who looks a bit more out of sorts, a little more wobbly, and he might fancy an opportunity. Now Paulie Dog down past the pit complex for GP2 into the Eau Rouge circuit, up the Eau Rouge chicane, bit of puff of tyre smoke there, up ahead from Hammy Mansell in the RUF. Paulie Dog gets deep into the toe. The BMW M3 really attacking as much as it can, getting the overspeed down the Camel Straight towards the Lacoum complex. But again, Paulie Dog just lacking that power, lacking that ultimate pace that he needs. Jamie F430 looking at the back of Wise the 3 has started to open that gap up. These guys are finding it much trickier than normal here. Normally you'd expect these drivers to be all over this circuit like a rash. The drivers love it here, but so far not been their night. Fraser Pants coming off Kirby Porphyray, heading towards Blanchimont, deep in the toe, but again, Diogo Pinto has just been able to open the taps on the Aston Martin V12 Vantage to pull himself clear. But Skanky Puppy once again leading from the front. Alexander the Greatest not able to give himself up here, not able to delegate authority. He's leading from the front, charge after charge. Jamie F430 now falling away from Wise the 3 quite away. Hammy Mansell being attacked on the rear by Paulie Dog, but Paulie Dog is just not able to get close enough. Meanwhile, Flipper Racing is saying that Ace Killer 15 is on a fast pace. Well, he may be on a fast pace, but he's a bit out of position at the moment. He's not really in the chance to get these guys caught up. But Paulie Dog gets a wide entry into the bus stop chicane, following behind Hammy Mansell. The BMW M3, a real big opportunity now to start getting himself back into position. Gets in the slipstream, going down towards the end of the F1 paddock, but again, he's just too far away. Paulie Dog not able to attack here. Dan RC 2010 has suddenly approached from nowhere. He's in 10th place and not too far adrift of these guys. He's someone to watch out for, because this pace has been in the 2:17s, so he's been a good 2 seconds quicker than these guys. Expected to be up to the back of them very shortly, as Paulie Dog gets a decent run over the top of Radion, but he's just too far away. So Paulie Dog has now got Dan RC 2010 absolutely all over him. Dan RC 2010 really attacking as much as possible, going into this Rivage complex, and you can see just how much he's enjoying this BMW Z4. He's liking the fact that he can fling it into the corners. He's liking the pace. Going through the second part of Rivage here. And Paulie Dog, big mistake there, went too wide, and that's going to allow Dan RC 2010 to start attacking, really getting himself close to the back, going up to the inside curve there. Great performance from Dan RC 2010 clipping the inside apex. The pressure on Paulie Dog now is really under threat here to lose the position in 9th. Looking at the inside of Fanier, Dan RC 2010 thinks about it momentarily, but realises just too far behind. Gets a decent one on the second part of the curve. Really good performance here from Dan RC 2010, trying to recover after that opening mistake on the opening lap. Into Stab a little bit wide there, going to the outside, nearly tripped into the apex and onto the outside Ash Reserve through Kirby Paul Ferret. And again, Dan RC 2010 got a bit too wide. And meanwhile, Harry Mansell's made a mistake. Harry Mansell's gone off the circuit, so both guys go past him. Dan RC 2010 now in 9th position, looking at the back of Paulie Dog into Blanchimont. Really fancying his chances now, Dan RC 2010. Really on the attack, but that's incredibly wide. He's gone so far wide there, it's unbelievable. Heading into the second part of the bus stop chicane. Meanwhile, interestingly, Jamie F430 has now also found himself joined to the battle. These guys are all very, very close. 3 drivers from the middle points here. Great opportunity. Meanwhile, in the pits, design Wise to 3, and also I think that might have been ace colour in the McLaren in the RUF. Heading into La Source Complex. Dan RC 2010 getting a nice, beautiful outside line there. Really switching on the outside as much as he can. Gets deep into the slipstream of Paulie Dog. Going to be nose to tail into Eau Rouge. He's not close enough to get around the outside. He'll fancy a look over the top of Radion down the Camel straight. Gets a decent look, clips the inside curve. Beautiful driving. Oh, very, very wide from Dan RC 2010. From Paulie Dog there. Again, almost repeating the move that Kevin Magnussen did when he was driving the Renault at the F1 race here. And unfortunately, that's kind of freed the field back up. Ace Coverdeen's in 4th place, Fraser in 3rd. And then look at this, interesting. Skanky Puppy has now got Dio Gopinto closing very quickly up to the back of him. So Dio is definitely on the move here, definitely trying to get himself back to order. Moving back through the field then, Jamie F430 is 5th, you've got Dan RC 2010 for 6th. Paulie Dog will be very frustrated, 7th after dropping it in a crazy fashion. And then Football 67611 goes past Wise to 3. I get the feeling that Wisden may have possibly gone into the box, undercut him, and then been passed straight back. But both drivers will now be on fresh tyres, so this is very much for position here between Wise to 3 and Football 67611. Getting a decent line on the outside. Wise to 3 going a bit too wide, heading towards the grass. Has to slow down and stop the car almost, heading into Pouon. That's going to slow him up quite catastrophically, but he gets a nice inside line there, riding the inside curve absolutely beautifully, really taking these corners as smooth as silk. Heading out the outside of Pouon down towards Fanier. A real opportunity now for him to get closer and closer and closer. Gets the good look a little bit, but he's a bit too far behind, but he may well fancy his chances off the back of Stavolo and Kirby Paul Ferret down towards the bus stop chicane. You can see that Wise to 3 gets a decent run there, clips the inside part of Stavolo right to the outside curve without going off track. And again, both drivers pushing the track limits a bit too much there on Kirby Paul Ferret. However, I get the feeling the Football 676 was going to pay for this. He's lost quite a lot of traction here, and now Wise to 3 sizes him up, thinks about the inside of Blanchimont. Is he going to take a look? He takes a look, but decides not to make the move go here. I think he was trying to blink him down towards the bus stop chicane. And up ahead, meanwhile, Football 676 thinks, where is he? Wise to 3 hangs back for now. I'm wondering if Wise to 3 might be fancying his chances down the Camel straight down towards Lake Hoo. Deep in the toe, Wise to 3 battle of the RUFs here, and you can see that he's got a great toe on the back of his teammate, well, the faux teammate, Football 67611. Gets deep into the slipstream now, coming off the La Source hairpin down towards the Eau Rouge complex. Great opportunity now for the Wise to 3 to assert his authority, get himself back in charge here. Going at the top of Eau Rouge onto Radion, gets deep into the slipstream now. Oh, big mistake there again. Once again, Football 676 feeling the pressure, and Wise to 3 gets deep into the toe now. It's a great opportunity down the Camel straight. Is he going to pull out of the slipstream? Is he going to fancy a late braking move? Wise to 3 takes a look to the inside, gets on the brakes, commits to the move. Goes to the inside, oh, a bit of a drift on the outside, a little bit of a tap there, and then Football 676 has clipped him, and Wise to 3 goes round. Wise to 3 has unfortunately spun it. I get the feeling that was because of the twitch that happened there, and the Football 676 was retaining the position as much as he could, but I think he just clipped the back tyre or the back rear wing of the vehicle, and that has put Wise to 3 around. No sign of slowing pace from Football 676 so I get the feeling that's going to be one for the stewards to investigate. Jamie F430 up ahead of Ace Cole 15 now, who must have obviously gone into the box. Dan RC 2010 has broken 3. in 4th place. But then we've got Fraser Pants and Diogo Pinto, who've both yet to stop, and Skanky Puppy as well. So these 3 drivers all making the tyres and their fuel last an awful long time. Diogo Pinto is right on board with him at the moment because he's not too far away from Skanky Puppy. So Skanky Puppy will be looking in those mirrors, looking in his rearview camera, asking how can he shake this guy off his tail. Heading into All Rouge, you can see Skanky Puppy halfway up before Diogo Pinto gets there. So that's not a big gap, maybe 1.5, 2 seconds. And it only takes a bad line out of somewhere like Radion, out of somewhere like Lakeum and Fagné, and you may find yourself losing all that time, especially with places like the Kemmel Straight and the kink between Kirby Paul Ferreira and the bus stop chicane. It's so easy to find yourself going off there into Lakeum Complex. Diogo Pinto gets a decent run, clips the inside curve both times absolutely beautifully. Third part of Lakeum down towards Ravage, a bit twitchy on the outside there. Diogo Pinto really attacking as much as he can. There's Aston Martin V12 Vantage. These top 3 drivers have yet to go into the box. 26 minutes remaining here of this race. It's hard to believe how quickly it's gone by. Live and exclusive on Twitch.tv. I'm Pete Markov, courtesy of Excite Racing League. Of course, if you're watching this using the YouTube channel, please drop a like and subscribe, put a comment, and also check out our other videos for much more from Excite Racing League. Into Fagné. Diogo Pinto got a bit too wide there on the outside, really struggled to get that into traction, had to get out the gas a little bit to correct. However, I'm wondering if Skanky Puppy has damaged his tyres here, because Diogo Pinto has now suddenly got right up to the back of him, heading through Stavolo into Kirby Paul Ferreira. Diogo Pinto very much got the bit between his teeth on the charge. He goes a bit too wide on the outside though, once again pushing the limits of what you can and can't do on the circuit. Gets deep into the toe of his teammate's V12 Vantage up towards Blanchimont, and you can see there Skanky Puppy going a bit too wide, dipping his toes into the water, hitting the grass, and that's going to compromise him down towards the bus stop chicane. You saw him go wide at Blanchimont, getting onto the inside. Diogo Pinto takes a tighter line through there than Skanky Puppy. Skanky Puppy definitely feeling the heat at the moment, over the pitch straight down towards the La Source hairpin. But again, it seems in this section, it's just where the power comes together for Skanky Puppy. Gets a decent run at the inside of that hairpin corner. Diogo Pinto looking at the back of Skanky Puppy as much as he can, quickly flicking back through the field. Age Club 15 is way off the pace. Jamie F4 30. Then you got Football 67601, who's broken free quite clearly. Weiss the free after that mistake. Harry Muscle in 9th place, Polydog in 10th, and then the retirees. So moving back to that 2nd place duel, and you can see that Diogo Pinto has now got a great opportunity on the back of Skanky Puppy, battling for the lead here. So these drivers have got to be careful, got to make sure to keep it clean into Lakeum Complex. Diogo Pinto trying to attack as much as possible, trying to really put the pressure on the Company Championship leader Skanky Puppy, but once again just a bit too far on the streamy wall. Morphe7 says hello, you're bored. For those of you who know the John Smith's adverts. Going for reverse, they're going a bit too wide, and you can see that Diogo Pinto gets a decent run at the inside. Hello to you too, by the way, Morphe7, I'm only joking. Coming off the outside of the reverse 2nd complex, Diogo Pinto getting decent traction, heading towards the Pouon Complex, double apex corner here. Real opportunity to attack if you can get deep in the slipstream, but you've also got the unsettling, turbulent air that can chew your brakes, chew your tyres, take away your downforce. Gets a decent run down towards the Fagné chicane, and again, Skanky Puppy has not really broken away from him. That gap has come down. Diogo Pinto really has a chance here as we come into the final 23 minutes of this race. It's been an absolute blur. Can't believe it's gone by already. Heading through the inside of Stavolo down towards Kirby Paul Ferreira, going over the sector 2 time. Diogo Pinto trying to keep it tight as possible. Once again going too wide. Same with Skanky Puppy. Both drivers liking to push to the outside there. And while you technically are going a long way round, if you are extending and gaining track time, it will result in a penalty. Heading towards Blanchimont, you can see Diogo Pinto doing everything he can to close up to the back of Skanky Puppy, but Skanky Puppy just seems to have that extra tenth in his body that he can pull out when he needs to keep that lead. This is going to be a battle of the pit stops, assuming, of course, that Diogo Pinto has remembered you have to pit. Let's not forget, he won at Mount Panorama in Bathurst. He won at Laguna Seca in the USA, and both times he was disqualified for failing to pit and do anything to his car. These drivers have got to go into the pits. They know this, so Diogo Pinto now can't afford to get caught up by that mistake. Heading back through the field. Oh, got a message from Night4001 saying, sorry guys, can't do it. I'm guessing that means that he's retired. It's a bit of a shame that. Ace Code 15 has started to catch up to the back of Dan RC 2010, who's suddenly got himself in 3rd place. Dan RC 2010's taken advantage of not having to pit yet to get himself right back into this. Fraser-Pants, who's only just come out of the pits now, is down in 6th place, so keep your eye on him. Football 676-1 has fallen away a little bit. Weister 3 will still be ruining that collision. Harry Mansell down in 9th place, and Paulie Dog rounds off the points in 10th. And then, bizarrely, Flipper Racing is on the circuit. Yeah, I didn't think he was. I love how that can sometimes happen. So, going back through there, Paulie Dog now looking to... Oh, well, Night4001 saying he's lost the enjoyment. I can't get rid of that message. I wish I could, because that technically means it's no longer a PG show. Now, Football 676-1 has come out just behind Jamie F430. Jamie obviously went into the pits there and has really gained himself a chance. Now, Football 676-1 in the RUF has been really on the attack, really doing everything possible. Gets deep into the slipstream now. Football 676-1 really got these nice, sticky, hot tyres, and that's going to give him an opportunity into Lake Coombe, going down the Camel Straight, getting deep into the slipstream, punching a hole in the air, following at maximum speed. But you can see just before Lake Coombe, a bit too far behind this lap, but he needs a good few laps where he strings it all together, and once he's strung it together, he'll be in the best position possible to get himself further up the grid. Meanwhile, kids, don't forget, don't drink and drive. I'm not driving, so I can drink. And we've got Football 676-1 getting close to the back now of Jamie F430. Fraser-Pants in 5th place, away from Ace Killer 15, who's closed up to the back of Dan RC 2010. Then we've got Diogo Pinto and Skanky Puppy, who are up by the bus stop chicane. And actually, look at this. Bus stop chicane, big mistake through the source there from Skanky Puppy. We have a battle for the lead here. These two drivers have yet to go into the box, but Skanky Puppy's feeling the heat now. Diogo Pinto deep in the slipstream. He's followed all this race. He's been the hunter rather than the hunted. Up through Eau Rouge, over the top of Radion, down onto the Camel Straight. You see Skanky Puppy already committing to the left there, and he's actually let him through. Skanky Puppy has let Diogo Pinto go by in rather disappointing, anticlimactic fashion. Diogo Pinto takes the lead. Meanwhile, looking at the back of this, Ace Code 15 now closing very cut up to the back of Dan RC 2010. I'm not sure if Dan RC 2010's been in the pits yet. On the stream, Morphe says he guesses he's missed a lot. Well, don't worry, Morphe, because I've actually figured out how to get this race onto YouTube. So all you guys out there watching this on the YouTube replay, please hit a like and subscribe, and don't forget to check out our channel for many more races. And again, Morphe, this will be up on the YouTube channel probably within the next couple of hours. So keep an eye out for that if you want to see the rest of the race. As Ace Code 15 now closes very much up on the back of Dan RC 2010, heading on the Camel Straight, heading into the Lake Coombe complex. Lake Coombe, this tricky triple chicane, deceives you. You think it's nice and gentle, and then suddenly you find yourself in the gravel. It's so unforgiving. Down the short straight towards Rivage. Does Ace Code 15 fancy a move here? A bit too far behind as he gets into the slipstream, trying to get as close as possible towards Pouon. He might fancy an opportunity of getting better traction off Pouon down towards the Fagnes chicane. Other than that, it's going to be hanging on for quite some time. Back through the field, Fraser-Pants in 5th place on his own, same with Football 676-1 and Weister 3. Harry Mansell's on his own, Paulie Dog's down in 9th, and then Jamie F430 after his pit stop comes out in last place. After all the drivers have done their war of attrition, so Ace Killer 15 get a decent line into Fagnes, really attacking as much as he can. Dan RC 2010 out of position theoretically here. Moving further up the field, Skanky Puppy and Diogo Pinto, and Diogo Pinto has actually gone in. Diogo Pinto has remembered to go into the box, so Diogo Pinto is now not the one under threat. It's Skanky Puppy who has to make sure he goes into the pits here. On the stream, meanwhile, you see Morphe once again saying he's missed a lot. Don't worry about that, mate. There's plenty to watch on the YouTube channel. And you see Ace Code 15 now closing onto the back of the Dan RC 2010's BMW Z4. Meanwhile, Diogo Pinto is still being held in the box here. That's coming up to the pit stop, the bus stop chicane, sorry. The pit stop chicane, that's a better name for it, actually. Diogo Pinto is now leaving the box. This is going to be all mightily tight here, because Dan RC 2010 is just coming up the pit road now, heading down towards the second part of La Sorte. Can't see in the pit garage there. Diogo Pinto, oh, he's crossed the white line. Well, technically that's a penalty, but I don't know if the stewards are going to be enforcing that in this division. And Ace Colour 15 gets a decent run at the back of Dan RC 2010, who's just able to pull away. So now the key question is Skanky Puppy. How long is he going to remain out on circuit for? When is he going to pit? Paulie Dog in 9th place is the last man on circuit who's not yet pitted. Jamie F430 is all the way down in 10th position. Definitely a disappointment for him. Fraser Panther's been solid for 5th place thus far and set some blinding lap times. Really done a great job. Ace Colour 15, meanwhile, still trying to close up to the back of Dan RC 2010. So we'll remain on board here for now, heading in towards Rivage Complex. Great opportunity for Dan RC 2010 to get himself some much needed podium points after that mistake in the opening lap. But Ace Colour 15 still not making it easy for him. Ace Colour 15 kisses the inside of Pouon, drifts to the outside curb, kisses the inside again, and drifts once more to the outside. Absolutely perfect. Almost like a similar version of Turn 8 of the Circuit de Catalunya. Heading into Fagnes, and you can see that Ace Colour 15 is really enjoying the power that he's got from this RUF, really attacking as much as possible. Then we've got behind him, meanwhile, we've got Dan RC 2010, who's in the lead of this two at the moment. Ace Colour 15 closing up as much as possible. We might as well remain on board with these two. This is the closest battle. Just right at the end of Curve Porphyre, heading down towards the Blanchimont corner. Great opportunity now for Ace Colour 15, who's got into the slipstream, deep into the draft. Rides into the inside. Is he going to be able to follow him through at the edge of Blanchimont? You see how wide that was taken there by Dan RC 2010. Meanwhile, I think that might be, that's Diogo Pinto. Diogo Pinto, I don't think he's made a mistake. He's barely ahead of these guys now. All of a sudden, Diogo Pinto is now back on the track as Ace Colour 15 continues to attack for following Diogo Pinto. I'm not entirely sure why. So you got Ace Colour 15 looking at the inside of that curve at La Source, getting a decent run, and now he's fancying a side-by-side rush down towards Eau Rouge. Gets deep into the slipstream at Dan RC 2010. This is unbelievably mighty. Is he going to pull out to the inside like Mark Webber on the one side? No, he's just too far behind for now. But he's getting a great run on the inside of Eau Rouge and Radion. This is an opportunity for him to attack here and get himself up the position, get himself back on the podium. Ace Colour 15 is deep in the slipstream, following tight as possible, getting maximum efficiency out of the downforce of this car. Heading into the Lakewood complex, he's just too far behind once again. And it's unbelievably frustrating how close he keeps getting to Dan RC 2010, who is resisting him magnificently. Diogo Pinto, meanwhile, is way behind Skanky Puppy, who is yet to go into the pits, but there's still 15 minutes of this race left to go. Where has the time gone? It has literally flown by. So Ace Colour 15 looking at the back of Dan RC 2010 in the BMW Z4, getting a decent line down towards Pouon, and BMW Z4 power versus Aston Martin V8 power. Brits versus the UK, well, Aston Martin, German power even. Aston Martin, that's the funniest look Aston Martin I've ever seen. You can see that RUF and Ace Colour 15 serving him well so far, but he's still just finding that missing pace that's stopping him from getting on the podium. Going off Curve Porphyre, Ace Colour 15 trying to get as close to the back as possible. It's just not anywhere in the same traction. Football 676 is 7th place, and Harry Mansell at 8th. Paulie Dog at disappointing 9th, and then Jamie F430 rounding out the top 10. So Harry Mansell going through Pouon, chasing after the mid corners. But you see Fraser Punt is not too far behind these two. These two are not far ahead at all, so it only takes a battle. On the stream, Morty7 saying, how dare you insult Aston Martin? Easy, they gave us the Lagonda. Mistake for Dan RC 2010. Ace Club 15 is now very close to the back. Heading off La Source, gets deep into the slipstream down towards Eau Rouge. He's going to be too far away to attack at this moment in time, but Dan RC 2010 under real pressure now, coming over the top of Radion, heading out towards Le Camel, straight down towards Lake Coombe. Deep in the slipstream, great opportunity now for Ace Club 15, who's really attacking as much as possible, really getting close and really using the power of that engine from the RUF. But once again, Dan RC 2010's little BMW Z4 is able to resist. Down towards Rivage, Ace Club 15 looking to attack as much as he can, but again, just finding it difficult, just not quite getting the power out of the vehicle. Now Ace Club 15 trying to attack as much as he dares the back of Dan RC 2010, really coming close to the back, really on fire here, getting decent pace up towards Pouon. Meanwhile, moving further up the field, Diogo Pinto and Skanky Puppy are still covered by the same gap they were, so Skanky Puppy has yet to go into the box. He's got to do it at some point though if he wants to avoid a penalty. Heading up further, curve off right, and Ace Club 15 getting a decent run at the inside, trying to attack the back of Dan RC 2010 down towards Blanchimont. Dan RC 2010, very much the rock versus the immovable object versus the unstoppable force. And this is a real opportunity now. Look how wide that RUF went there from Ace Club 15. He really struggled. Heading in towards the bus stop chicane. Opportunity now for Dan RC 2010, who's pulled away a little bit from that mistake from Ace Killer. Meanwhile, you can see that Diogo Pinto is in second place. Skanky Puppy still very much out in front at the moment. 10 minutes to go. He's got to stop at some point if he wants to avoid meeting the same fate that Dio has for the last couple of races. Ace Club 15 over the top of Radion, last 5 laps or so to go here, heading down towards the Lake Coombe complex, and he might be thinking there's an opportunity here if he's got traffic to pass, but so far he's managed to do no such issues. And again, most of those drivers here will let you through if you've got blue flags. Unfortunately, viewers, we appear to be at that lull where most of the cars are a bit too far away from each other to be able to make much of a difference. Though this could get interesting actually. Wise the 3 is not too far away from Hammy Mansell. And look at that, there's only a 10th in pace between those two. And you can see that Hammy Mansell was actually feeling that he didn't have much of a chance of being able to pull much of a fight in this division. Well, he's wrong. He's done very well indeed. Ace Club 15 trying to catch up to Dan RC 2010. But interestingly, Dan RC 2010 is now not too far away from Diogo Pinto. So Diogo Pinto may find himself under attack here. We're into the final 10 minutes, would you believe? This is unbelievably close stuff. Skanky Puppy now is right on board. No, he's still not gone into the pits. Skanky Puppy has still refused to go into the box at this time. Skanky Puppy's got to be able to pit shortly, or else he's going to find himself falling foul of the stewards. And I'm wondering if he's going to be trying to do it where he only has to go in on the very, 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 very last lap. Ace Club 15 quietly started to catch up to these pair. Dan RC 2010 is away from Diogo Pinto. Behind him, meanwhile, you see Ace Club 15 closing that gap, trying to get as much closeness as possible. Fraser Pants in 5th place, Hammy Mansell in 6th. Football 676 to a 1, and Wise to 3, who's not too far behind him. But Paulie Dog has now got himself back in the saddle, and he might fancy an opportunity of doing the performance and taking the points away from Wise to 3. But up ahead, meanwhile, is all this battle between Dan RC 2010 and his rival Ace Killer 15 in the RUF. going into Lake Coombe, and you can see that the black and white BMW Z4 is struggling to hold off Ace Colour 15 in the RUF. Ace Colour 15 gets a decent look at the inside towards Ravage. Gets a bit wide on the inside there. So Dan RC 2010 under pressure now as Ace Colour 15's closed the gap up very, very tightly indeed. Down towards the middle part of the corner. Dan RC 2010 really trying to resist. Really trying to hold back the siege. Almost like a leaking bucket here. As Ace Colour 15 now starts to march in. He fancies that third position. He wants those podium points. Heading towards Fanier. Great opportunity now for him to attack. And he takes a look at the inside. Dan RC 2010 sees him and covers him off. But you can see now that Ace Colour 15 is not afraid to battle. It is very much a case of odds on. Heading in towards Stavelot, Dan RC 2010 and also Ace Colour 15 favouring the same line there. Though Ace Colour 15 using more of the road to get maximum speed. Heading towards Kirby Paul Ferret, and you can actually see, look at that. Ace Colour 15 keeping it on the arm, getting better traction there. Real opportunity now for the BMW driver to find himself under pressure from the RUF of Ace Colour 15. Heading into Blanchimont, he's too far behind to even attempt to pass there. But Dan RC 2010 goes a little too wide. Hamilton Ace Colour 15 might fancy a chance to attack here. Switches back to the inside line, gets on the brakes. Both drivers make it through nice and clean with no problems at all. On the stream, meanwhile, you can see Skanky Puppy is still not given up and gone into the pits. Skanky Puppy is really living dangerously here. We've only got 6 minutes left of this race. After that, it's all over. And look at this, Dan RC 2010 going very, very slowly on the inside. Ace Colour 15 fancy trying to do an outside karting line move, side by side with Dan RC 2010. Dan RC 2010 hanging on as he tries to get close to the back of Ace Colour 15, who's taken that spot. But Dan RC 2010 now has a chance to get off the top of Radion, maximum pressure for the back of the lack of downforce, and get that position back down towards Lake Coombe. Getting into the slipstream as much as he did, hugging the inside line there, and you can see just how much this means to the Porsche team. You can see that RUF is being used as much as possible, and Ace Colour 15 really attacking where he can through Lake Coombe, but Dan RC 2010 unable to make a chink in the armour. And we saw just how difficult it was previously for certain drivers to get past. 5 minutes remaining here. We're already at the 5-minute warning clock. It's unbelievable. Skanky Puppy goes through Stavelot and Kirby Paul Ferret for the penultimate time here. As Ace Colour 15 leads on Dan RC 2010 in the BMW Z4 heading into Pouon. Dan RC 2010 trying to psych him out with a flash of the headlights. Ahead of him, meanwhile, you can see that Ace Colour 15 saying, "I am not intimidated." Keeping as close as he can to the back, and Dan RC 2010 just not close enough to get any kind of advantage. Heading through Stavelot down towards Kirby Paul Ferret. Dan RC 2010 really attacking as much as he can to try and get that position back from Ace Colour 15. Ace Colour 15 now is broken away from him, broken the toe. Great opportunity up ahead. Diogo Pinto is second place. Skanky Puppy is still yet to stop from what I can see. Skanky Puppy does not appear to have gone into the pits. Now, there would be a twist of irony if a driver who gained both sides of Laguna Seca and Mount Panorama Bathurst due to Dio being disqualified for the lack of pitting ends up giving up his position because of a lack of pitting. This is a real opportunity here. Now, as you see, Dan RC 2010, that's Diogo Pinto. Yeah, there you are, Dan RC 2010 in 4th position, looking at the back of that wonderful RUF, but you can see that position has opened up, if anything, and that gap for Ace Colour 15 has really come into its own. Diogo Pinto trying to catch up to the back of Skanky Puppy. Now, at the end of this lap, if Skanky Puppy doesn't pit, it will be up to the in-race steward who was watching on board to see if he's going to be able to get himself back into contention for a victory here, because from what I understand, it appears that Skanky has not yet stopped. Pace-wise, it certainly matches, because Diogo Pinto's just clearing Lake Coombe when he's going through Pouon. That's a huge difference on track here. So Flipper Racing, I am aware, his is going to be investigated. You've got Diogo Pinto in 2nd place, and you've got Ace Colour 15 in 3rd, Dan RC 2010 in 4th, very much on his own. Then you've got Fraser Paris in 6th place. In 5th place, and once again makes that mistake of Rivage that nearly caused him to drop it. Hammy Mansell running a very strong 6th place. Football 67601, not sure if that's to go back into the pits there. He finds himself down in 7th place, and then Paulie Dog and Jamie round off the points. Dan RC2010 goes rally crossing at the outside of Fanier. He really didn't need to do that. He needed to make sure he kept this vehicle on the island. And Skanky Poppy has gone through. Skanky Poppy has gone through into the pits on the final lap. Well, it's genius, but at the same time, he's going to be coming out for the start-finish line. Let's ride on board with Diogo Pinto. There's just under 2 minutes to go here. The driver's, oh, mistake from Dio. He's outbraked himself, heading into the bus stop chicane. That's the last thing he needed. And Skanky Puppy's already left. He's getting himself up to speed. He's just about to clear that red line at the end of the tunnel. And I think Skanky Puppy is going to take a very, very well-fought victory here. Indeed, he's going to cross the start-finish line to start the last lap, but he won't be able to complete it due to the time. However, Skanky Puppy did stop. He stopped right at the end. Sebastian Vettel did that at the 2010 Monza Grand Prix in Italy, where he stopped on the final lap, having made a set of options last all the way through. He managed to do it, so very much the same kind of strategy. Fraser Pant's doing a decent job in 5th place, but he's been too far behind Dan RC 2010, who's recovered very well after that opening start where he lost so many positions after that mistake. He's been able to bring himself back into contention, and Hammy Mansell, what penny he's fought. He said that he wasn't good enough and he shouldn't be part of the league, and yet he's in 6th place, about to beat Football 676-1, who's one of the contenders for the title this season. Then you've got Paulie Dog, who's won races this season, down in 8th place, and Jamie F430 down in 9th. Meanwhile, on the stream, Morphy's saying clever beep, 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 beep on the stream. I'm guessing you're referring to Skanky Puppy, who decided to stop on the final lap. No, you can call it clever all you want, but ultimately that's the rules. You have to stop, and that's exactly what he did. So Skanky Bobby will be looking to complete this lap and get himself up onto the top step of the podium. Diogo Pinto can feel a little aggrieved that he's only going to be a few seconds adrift as he head out of Fanier. A couple of mistakes maybe probably cost him those critical times, but Diogo Pinto, credit to him, he's had 2 weeks where he's been given, very wide there. He's had 2 weeks where some victories have been taken away from him. Quite a lot of other drivers would just give up and go, I'm done with this, and walk away. But Dio has turned up tonight and done a great job, and he's not going to be too far adrift of Skanky Puppy. Now don't forget, because of where the start-finish line is here, there's still a possibility we might have a final last-minute hurrah. Going through the bus stop chicane, you can see that Diogo Pinto gets a decent line on the outside, but Skanky Puppy has pretty much rocketed off into the distance, and I get the feeling that Skanky now has done just enough to be able to keep that position and take this victory. Going through the inside here, great opportunity to attack, heading towards the start-finish line. And this is going to be a race victory for Skanky Puppy. Well taken checkered flag with Diogo Pinto in 2nd place. Meanwhile, AceKill15, he'll be happy to have finished 3rd place after a great start. And Dan RC 2010 didn't catch the pass that happened, but AceKill15 overhauled him to take 3rd position. Didn't get on my stream. Fraser Pants, meanwhile, he did very, very well. Acquitted himself very strongly indeed to take 5th place. Hammy Mansell, he's probably the success story here. The surprise package, the driver who said he didn't have any chance, has managed to get himself onto this and pick up some valuable points. On the stream, Morphy7 saying should have allocated pit windows. Disagreed. I made the race a little too predictable. We don't want to have all the pit windows at once. Meanwhile, Flipper Racing simply says Skanky wins it. Indeed he does, but Hammy Mansell's going to come round the Lasso's hairpin to take home 6th position. He'll be very happy with that, considering he thought his chances in this title were written off due to a lack of pace, but he's beaten the likes of Paulie Dog. He's beaten the likes of Football 67611, and that's a credit to him to come back and race despite the problems. Paulie Dog just entering shot there. He is very much this week's reject of the race. He's had no pace in qualifying and is now coming over the start-finish line for a very despondent 8th place. And Jamie F430 will take 9th. I don't think it's the position he wanted, but he'll take it just all the same. And Weister 3, he'll be disappointed to have timed his stop wrong and got himself caught out in the passing. And that collision between himself and Football 676 number 1, that kind of ruined both their races. But he'll be happy to have taken 10th place and got himself over the checkered flag line to finally get himself the chance. So in short, the race is very much over. All drivers will feel happy to have made it this far. And while Skanky Puppy, a very thoroughly deserved victory from him, Diogo Pinto, probably the right person to come second after a very strong performance and just a couple of issues last week that prevented him from getting those points. Ace Color 15 did great to take 3rd place. Having fought back through the field after that mistake. Dan RC22 will be disappointed they didn't convert his 2nd place into something better. That first lap really ruined him. And then Fraser Pants did a great job in 5th place to take such a strong finish and get great points. Hammy Mansell, the returning one from the wilderness, looking at the lap times he's set, I don't know what his problem with pace is. He's certainly got it so far, and that's put him back in 6th place. Football 676-1, he'll be disappointed to have found himself down in 7th place. Paulie Dog in 8th, then Jamie F430 9th, but Weister 3 also very disappointed to be down in 10th. Well, thank you all very much for checking out this stream here tonight, live and exclusive on twitch.tv. For those of you watching in the box who commented, the likes of Flipper Racing and Morphe7, thank you very much. For you guys watching this on the YouTube replay, please don't forget to leave a like, subscribe and a comment, and check out all the content here from Excite Racing League. I've been Pete Marcroft, you've all been excellent, and so have the drivers. Thank you all very much for watching, and good night.